Brave hearts all over the world. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today I'm with Lindsay, that is part of one of the most amazing creations, and that's called Food Forest Abundance. Okay? All right? Food Forest Abundance. You know what? How would it feel to not have a chokehold on you when it comes to what you eat, when you eat, how you eat? And that is the mission of Jim Gale, okay? It is his passion, his purpose. I mean, he's all in. He's all in to turn lawns into food forests. So I live in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, and we're going to bring on Lindsay in just a second, okay? All right? But I live in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, and right now I am working on my studio, okay? I have actually, just so you know, let's do this right? So I've got one of the top producers, okay, of Disney flying in next week. And he's actually coming in to help me with my lighting, my stage setups, I mean, like everything. It is going to be done the way it's meant to do. Just like my video studio, because we are going to be releasing what's called the Braveheart Nation app, and they call, not me, but the creators of it, and guess who created it? All women. No men, thank God. No manipulation. Oh my God, for the first time in my life, get rid of those guys. Okay, so anyways, that is going to be coming out right now. They're in the testing phase. So other people that create apps, you know what they call it? They call it the beast. I would never call it the beast. I would call it maybe a piece to the puzzle. Okay, a piece to the puzzle of unconditional love and care for yourself and everyone else. And I'm going to have anywhere from 60 to maybe 120 different people speaking different languages from different aspects of life, teaching you how to take your power back. But not just that, how to learn how to speak to yourself. That's right, because words matter, beliefs matter. And understand something, we are so screwed when it comes to beliefs. I mean, we are screwed, baby. And guess what? Nobody knows it because everybody thinks this is as good as it can get. And understand something, this is almost as bad as I want to see it. And the reality is this, as soon as I get my video studio done, okay, I don't have a big front yard, but I'm turning my front yard into a food forest so that the world can see it. And it doesn't matter where you live, you can have a food forest. That's right. Instead of going out there with your two-gun kid with your glyphosate, got to kill those dandelions that actually are very healing, okay? And we got to poison the grass and the soil. And how many people know that most of the problem with Roundup or glyphosate is actually being created by all those guys, okay, that grew up to be men, but they still wish that they were, what, gunslingers? I don't know. The reality is that you can program human beings to poison their front yard, backyard, and guess what we should be doing? Making it into a food forest. What if you could walk down the street and it was a neighborhood, and guess what? You could just go in everybody's front yard. Instead of like having that, you can see all this natural food. No weed pulling, no looking after it, because nature takes care of itself. I'm building this, and I am. It might take me like 4 to 6 months before I have it done, but I am building this food forest in front. And guess what? Probably one of the only places in the world where you don't need a food forest, because guess what? Everybody grows food in their backyards in Mexico almost. Not everybody, but compared to everywhere else in the world. We couldn't run out of food if we tried. And I'll prove it to you. Sometime this week, I'll go down to the marketplace and I'll show you what's down there. It's like just everywhere. And then I'll go out of the marketplace and I'll walk for at least 10 blocks around the area, and there's like food everywhere. Okay? And that's the deal. Remember something. It's all about energy. One of the best ways to actually imprison slave people is to make them feel they can't feed themselves after corporation. That's the deal. And most of you have been taught that it's back-breaking for garden. We're not going to grow a garden. We're going to grow, what are we going to grow? We're going to grow a food forest, which is the natural thing. What do you think, Lindsay?
Yeah, it's outstanding. You know, That's one thing that Bill Mollison says, the solutions are embarrassingly simple. And it really is a fascinating endeavor that Jim Gill has undertaken here with building Food Forest Abundance, where I'm the head of design and the creative director for the company. And it's just a real honor to do the work that I'm doing, teaching people how to grow food, how to be sovereign, how to be able to rely on themselves is so important. I know we've seen a lot of things happen over the years that have really encouraged us to just, reconnect with the land for a number of reasons.
Yeah, and you used the word embarrassing, and that's what they do. Is it embarrassing means that you show your bare assing. Okay, so they pull your pants down and they embarrass us that we're just too stupid. They make us into a joke as if we don't know and can't feed ourselves or protect, respect, and honor our family. And that's the whole thing. Everything's a program, everyone. That's not where we're going to go down that trail with Lindsay. But I want to tell you something, right? This ridicule, okay, shame, embarrass. The reality is this. What if every brother, sister came together? What if we were all growing food for each other? What do you think, Lindsay?
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to, right? Like we're healing the relationship between people and the earth again, because there is a little bit of a disconnect, I think, on a grand scale where
A
people feel
little,
like
a little bit of a little bit of a disconnect. Okay, all right. They actually got us believing that we need to recycle, and it's them that are polluting, and we don't need to recycle because none of us wanted plastic. It was they that decided, and then they punish us because there's so much plastic. The disconnect is us connecting to the spirit of everything on this planet, like the native Indians tried to teach.
yeah, and this is the relationship that I want to inspire in the people that I work with. We start off by saying, put yourself in our shoes and start to witness patterns in the land, start to get connected to your property and look at the plants that are growing around you and be familiar with what naturally grows in your climate so that people are more connected to the medicine that's growing around them. So that's just a very small piece, that introductory piece of bringing people into the organization. People, they want to work with us. They see our vision. They just want to be part of it. And that's really how you start. You start in your own backyard and you believe, right? I can do this. It's not that difficult. And it wasn't that long ago that everybody was growing food for themselves without poisons, right? So we're not that far off from where we were at one time, which was, very connected to the land. Right. So getting back there is super, super important. And
Beautiful.
then, yeah,
Keep going, love.
sorry.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so when we start to heal this relationship between people and their properties and they get more connected, the ripple effect of what we're doing isn't just about growing food, right? It's really getting people back to who they are and who they are in themselves and connected to their families and connected to their communities, sharing the abundance of their gardens, sharing the plants with your neighbors, sharing the fruits of your labor with your neighbors, and trading, getting to know your neighbors. These are all benefits of putting a food forest in your yard. People walk by and they see it and they're drawn to it. People are naturally drawn to the beauty of nature, right? And we can put in things like edible pollinator gardens. So you have edible flowers that you can make bouquets with in your house. And so we're really extending that idea for people about, edible gardens, we'll say. So it's not just landscaping, right? You look at all the lawns in America and how much food we could be producing if we just change a fraction of those, which is what we're doing at Food Forest Abundance. So this is the entry level of the sorts of offerings that we have at Food Forest Abundance as well. We do full scale permaculture demonstration sites as well, where we're educating people on what we do. And we're demonstrating all the aspects of permaculture because there's many different aspects of permaculture. It's not just food forestry. We're looking at the water, we're looking at the soil, the geography, the climate, the flora, the fauna, the structures. It's a system. So we're looking at it's a holistic system of your property and how can we have these relationships working with each other? How can we stack functions to get the most yield from what we can produce on our site?
From where you live, because everybody grows different things. So you take a look at the climate, you take a look at the soil, you take a look at everything as a whole so that they will have the food forest abundance that you actually talk about, correct?
Yeah, and we're looking at their rainwater capture as well, right? Their ability to water and establish the plants that they want to plant. And we're looking at the health of their soil and the condition of their soil and how to increase biomass and increase the ability of the water to be held in the soil. As we all know, we have a lot of different water issues coming up, and these sorts of things can be mitigated by permaculture practices.
Absolutely. And just know this, everyone. So this is not like a marketing technique, because you can actually call and get a free consultation. See if it's right for you, what's right for you, and understand something. Some people like myself, I want to be part of it. Like, I want to video the whole thing they're doing when they build my food forest. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let them do it. Some people will go, no, I just want you to give me the architectural design and the step-by-step, and then I will do it for myself. So understand something. This is not about control. This is about helping you get control back into your life. So with me, it'll be like, no, I guys are going to video this because this is amazing. And then I'm going to video it as, we go from a lawn to the food forest to the actual picking, and then put it all together like one beautiful masterpiece like this is.
Yeah, that's
Lindsay?
beautiful. And you started off by talking about getting a free session. So at our website, foodforestabundance.com, you can book a strategy session is what it's called. And you can speak with one of our, one of our designers about whatever it is that you feel like you're called to work with us. We do consultations, we do designs from small backyards up to hundreds of acres. So we're able to, assist people with what's the best step for me, and what's the best way to weave in the knowledge of our organization to get you there into a place where you are, doing what Daryl's talking about and growing the food in your yard and reaping the benefits of that.
Beautiful. Lindsay, we never did say what part you play and what is it that you do?
Yeah, I'm the head of design, the creative director at Food Forest Abundance. So that's really my role. I'm a very creative person, a visionary, just like Jim. I have a lot of ideas and just a different way of looking at things. And I also have, the Virgo nature of me is also very organized and creating SOPs and management and that sort of thing. So I kind of have the best of both worlds going on there. I do a lot with the organization. We're doing TV shows. I'm doing a lot of talks like these and interviews.
Why
I
don't you
have a
tell us
team of
about,
40
can you tell us,
designers.
Lindsay, can you tell us about some of your TV shows, some of your talks? Maybe I could go other places to see what other shows and what other things you're doing and what is coming up for Food Forest Abundance.
Yeah. Well, I can't give you certain specifics on some of the shows because they haven't come out yet, but basically it's on the nature of bringing that food forestry concept to the masses, right? And also a different show was about homesteading, right? And bringing more that community aspect of creating designs and that can grow as you start to bring more and more people in, because we're finding, people have these aligned visions, aligned lifestyles, and they're pooling their resources and they're getting together and they're buying big pieces of land and then having multiple places to stay within that, sort of like an eco community project. Things that are coming up for Food Forest Abundance is quite a lot. It's every week is really exciting. We have soil amendments. Some of the most amazing soil science is coming up right now for us. So ways that people have found to test soil that are brand new, as well as how to amend soil. And this is a really big hot ticket item, right? Because as we all know, the whole Monsanto beast, not necessarily the best thing out there. And, we can change that. And I'm a firm believer that it will be just a natural occurrence as we change the machinery that they're using to be spraying fertilizers, to be spraying compost teas, and to be rehabilitating all these soils that have been so degraded for so long.
Understand something, everyone. This is only going to happen. This is only going to happen at the grassroots. It's not going to happen for corporations. It's not going to happen through government. I know that Jim keeps knocking on the door of these people, and he's always going to, because that's Jim and that's what he's going to do. But the change has to happen from the grassroots, because corporations have manipulation inside, and that's it. So understand that. And whether we want to believe it or not, the world is changing, and it's going to change for a better place because of people like Lindsay and the mission that she's on and what she's doing with Jim Gale.
Yeah,
Lindsay?
absolutely. And the 40 designers as well that's on the team with us, right?
40. And how many countries have you did Food Forest Abundant designs for already? And maybe you can give us some different examples of different places that these are, so people understand how varied this is.
Yeah, we're looking at over 1,000 designs, right? And we've got designs. We have an orphanage in Peru called Awesomeage. We have demonstration sites in Thailand as well. We have big projects in Ghana and Africa, of course, all over Canada, all over the US, stretching into Europe, Australia. It's really the World Wide Web is ours. And this is one of the concepts that I brought to Food Forest Abundance last year, that I saw us as an organization, and our strength is like we're this mycelia in the world. And it's not necessarily a product focused company as it is a catalyst of energy and information exchange. We've become known as the organization, kind of like one of the biggest organizations that's kind of got this reach in the way that we do. And that's really the power of what we're doing. Is we take a collaborative approach. We're trying to disseminate the idea of competition and top-down structure so that we're having more of an equal playing ground, right? There's more quality amongst the people in the executive team as well. And we want to extend that to our designers as well. So everybody's, encouraged to show up exactly as they are. There's none of this non-compete clause business. It's, yes, you're doing this on your own, and yes, you're doing this with us, and let's do it all together and promote it all together. Because really, that's the idea of the new world, in my opinion, is that idea that competition is an old way of being, and it comes from a fear and an idea of lack that isn't really real. So we can step into the collaborative possibilities. We can join forces. We can cross-pollinate ideas, and really, we're unstoppable. It's great.
Yeah, and I think, it does create that feeling of lack, but I don't think that there was their intention. They want the actual fight, okay? It's a dog-eat-dog world, you know what I mean? And it can't be that way anymore. And I want the same thing in natural health. I want the same thing in health. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great if all parties came together and understand something? I think what everybody doesn't understand is we've never been as sick as we are today, unhealthy as we are today in the whole time in history. So don't worry, you're not going to run out of things to do, and you're not going to run out of money. Just think, if we all came together and we healed everyone, we would find something else to do, wouldn't we? Because you are right about that, Lindsay, because when we have poverty thinking on any level, it's going to undermine our passion and our purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And having that abundance mindset, it's a paradigm shift, right? And
Yes.
I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation here with working with this company. I'm like, I see the best of the best and the most exciting and the most cutting edge and the greatest new inventions and all the solutions, right? We're very solutions oriented. I tend to sway away from a lot of, when I start to hear the negative talk. I don't like to give it my power. I don't like to give it my attention. I feel like even just our focus, our willingness to listen and take part in those conversations is a waste of energy, really. As you said it right in the beginning, everything is energy. And yeah, I have a very solid belief about the hopeful future. And I don't think it's coming from an ignorant place. I think it's coming from an inspired place, because I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing it roll out. I'm seeing the great work that people are doing out there.
Yeah. Stay neutral, stay centered, and mind your own business, which is your passion, your purpose, your dream. And that's really what it's about. And nothing needs to be fixed. Okay? You just need to have the best day ever. And that's it. And Lindsay, I can see it. I mean, you're vibrating it right through the TV. So is everybody, so is everybody else seeing it that's around the world right now. They understand when somebody's authentic, right? Because did you know that that being authentic is 40 times stronger than the vibration of love? So today it's called Let's Get Authentic and Let's Bring Our Vibration Up.
I love that. I really do love that. That's amazing. And I've been fortunate enough to really be supported by my family my whole life. I really attribute a lot of my success to that support network I had within my family for the creative person that I am. I definitely did not have a normal, banal life by any means. I've been a performer for over 25 years and was in the fitness industry for over 15 years. And I've done a lot of really different and unique things, and I've lived outside the box my entire life as well. So it's given me
I think you actually burned the box.
the box.
I think you burnt the box.
Absolutely. The
Yeah, I
box
do.
never looked right. I never, I couldn't see it. It ceased to exist, right?
Yeah.
Because it was just not something I was interested in. And because I had that support, I could really dream out of the box my entire life, right? So I've done, a lot of the manifesting and stuff like that for me started from a very, very young age. And I was doing things like,
And then it didn't stop.
what's that?
And then it didn't stop.
It didn't stop. And it only accelerated. Really, I felt like the conjunction that occurred a couple of years ago, we used to think about manifesting as this thing you'd have to do, and you'd have to, get a vision board and you'd write it down and you'd vision and you'd see it. What's it going to look like? And I feel like that's really changed. And now it's just all it takes is a thought. We don't, we can, it's great. I still do vision boards and all of that stuff because I really like to do that and, check it at the end of the year, how many things I've accomplished off of that. But
yeah, but you're only checking to see if your imagination was sharpened.
I'm just making sure I'm filling it up as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I really do.
Yeah, it's just really quick. I feel like things are happening really, really fast now. This quickening that's going on, whether it's astrological or what, it's just very apparent, as we get closer to the age of Aquarius. I'm kind of into that sort of thing. Everything's in the air, right? Just like all the tech and everything. And I don't look at all of it as a bad thing. I think all that's coming to be is divine and in good time, like it's right. How are you going to spend your day regardless of the stories, regardless of what's going on in the world, bringing you back to yourself and the God self within, what am I driven to do in this world? What brings me joy? What makes time disappear? And do more of that, right? Because this is heaven on earth, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're just letting time come to you and then through you.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the wave.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
it's
wave.
a mystery. You just watch, right? It's just you wake up with this mystery every day. What's gonna come my way, And it's so exciting to not, get out of the judgment thing. Oh, this is bad and this is good and I don't like this and I like this, and just really, watch it come. Watch, be the observer of yourself and see how you're responding to these things. And really, I think the more that people can become more self-aware about their, reactivity and emotions and all of that, and not let that be their driving force in life, but a guide to a better path forward. People would be better off. How to put yourself first.
So what's new? What's going to be new for you guys? Can you share anything? What's new?
New
What's
for us,
what's on
yeah.
what's on the sticky notes on the board on the wall?
Lots of Freedom Farm Academies, right? I'm working on 4 Freedom Farm Academies right now. So
Yeah.
one in Kansas, we got one in Florida. We have 15 Freedom Farm Academies already going. So of course, keeping those going. We've got a platform in the works as well. We've got we call the pillars, as our core team has come together. We just put on a permaculture summit with our designers. So that was our second summit. You can check out on our website about that and get the recording to watch, all the talented designers share their
What's the
knowledge.
website? What's the website?
Foodforestabundance.com.
There it is.
Yeah, and Jim's got a healing center going in up at Galt's Landing, so we're getting some of the latest and greatest tech going into that, which is really
Beautiful.
exciting. Yeah, he's got the Council of 12, and I can let Jim talk on his Council of 12 for you, but bringing together some very prominent leaders in the industry to spread this work is so important, right? So
Beautiful.
that's really exciting for us. We have a lot of politicians, you've seen maybe Jim had talked to Bobby Kennedy, and then he had Dr. Shiva, and now it's floating around that Trump wants to come to Galt's Landing too. So let's get him down there. Let's show all these people, regardless of their positions. I'm really happy to see the politicians getting interested in this, regardless of what their message is the fact that, okay, now permaculture is getting cool. This is great. We want more people to know about this.
Yeah, I mean, until somebody gives you a new idea, then you got to mull it around, and it's like, got to put it in the pot, and then you got to put it on simmer for a while, and you never know what's going to come out, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and sharing that generative space. So, like, as a leader in the organization, I love to inspire others to step up, right? So, providing opportunities for designers, that really jazzes me, where I can be like, yeah, I'm doing all these different things, like you can do, like go out there and do it. Go out there and network with your community, and randomly go meet people and just plant seeds, like throw your seeds around and just sit back and watch what sprouts, because really, like, the universe is really providing for us. We just have to be clear on what our focus is.
And talking about providing, you also provide a space there for people. You're off grid, and this is in St. Cloud, Florida, everyone. And you can actually go there and you can stay there. It's like an Airbnb situation. You can go there, hang out in the food forest. You can go, they've got a private lake there. And you can just call up and let them know what it is you want to learn, or if you just want to hang out and just feel the vibe. What do you think?
Yeah, Galt's Landing's amazing. Like, that's our premier demonstration site where you can see the food forest in action. You can see a lot of the newest techs like biogas, where we can actually cook food from our own human waste, and that's pretty cool, just to get free energy, right? This is something that's on the table right now, and you can run tours, right? So you can book a tour at Galt's Landing. It's galtswalks.com. I was just looking up the website here to maybe drop it in the chat for you guys. But you can book a time to go there and have a tour and meet Jim and see everything that we're doing in Florida. It's really awesome. So it's galtslanding.farm, and that'll bring you to the Freedom Farm Academy site for Galt's Landing. Yeah,
And
and
that's
there's Airbnb there. You can
that's
stay.
GALTS.
Yeah, GALTS and then LANDING.farm.
Galtslanding.farm.
Yeah, and you can book a tour there. If you wanted to stay, there's some B&Bs there as well, so you can stay on site. Even the last time I was there was people camping on site. There's a 400-acre lake. We've got rotational grazing. There's a bunch of different types of things to show you. There's like agroforestry type rows or syntropic plantings. You can learn all about the food that's growing there. There's chickens. Yeah, it's just a really great site. And it's also an opportunity for us to experiment with different plantings. So I know Jim was putting up sugarcane around the tennis court, right, to create a privacy screen, things like that. And it's really just, it's such a lovely place to be. People can volunteer there if they like. Yeah.
Yeah, last time I was there was a few Winnebagos.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have events there, right? Like, that's another really big part of the demonstration sites is each Freedom Farm Academy highlights a different thing. So it's always based on the person's focus. Again, highlighting what the person is passionate about and really just honing in on something special for them. So maybe you're a yoga-based practitioner and you have, a chakra pathway of flowers. This is a design, one of the designs that I did where it was a yoga-based instructor that had a Freedom Farm Academy. And so we put in a chakra pathway and she has her yoga studio and she incorporates her community so that they can learn about growing food as well as, having a meditation class. This is Rebecca Birdwell, one of our Freedom Farm Academies in Bastrop, Texas. Simply Wildwood. You can check her out. So that's just another example of, so we can have healers, different types of healers. You can have people having concerts. That's what I'm really excited about too, is the next Freedom Farm Academy site visit I'll be going to is going to be in Kansas. And they're going to be having a festival while I'm there. This is a community that's been running for over 20 years. There's 900 people or more in their close-knit community. They cover 1,200 acres around them, right? And they've already been doing this for 22 years, I think it was, the Midwest Preparedness Festival. So I'm really excited about that. They're going to get me on stage. They don't know I'm a musician too, but maybe I'll play them a song or two. Maybe one of my Armageddon tracks as of late. Uh, but yeah, we'll get up there and we'll talk permaculture. And I can't wait just to meet people that have been doing this sort of thing for such a long time.
I think you're an amazing person. All I know. I really, truly mean that from my heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Jim and the whole group are just totally blessed. All good.
Yeah.
Having happy people that love their life, that love their passion. I mean, it's just, they're so focused, so centered, That's it, right? That's what makes the world go round. Finding your love, finding your passion, and then making your heart just it.
Yeah, we definitely all have that aligned vision, aligned passion, like you say. We'd be doing it anyways, regardless of where we are. Everybody that's involved, we'd be doing it anyways. And to have the support of each other, we work really well together as our core organization and the design management team. I have 4 regional team managers, right? And just providing opportunities for people to step into, new positions for themselves and allow that space for people to step up and offer and be of service, right? This is a big part of what makes us feel alive and of, not of use. That's not the right word that I'm looking for, but it's service, right? We connect to others, we help others. It makes us feel good. It's a natural progression of serving. And the mission that we have here, it's giving back to Gaia for me, right? It's just like I have a deep passion for watershed restoration. I feel like I can have a great impact here in Canada. I also have my own company, Food Forest Canada, which I own and operate up here. And I'd like to really shift the broad acre farming and how farmers are farming right now, and just show them a piece and how this can be replicated. Because once we start moving into mass scale, we start to restore watersheds. We start to bring back species that are, at the brink of extinction. When we have polycultures, when we're planting numbers of plants together, we're creating biodiversity. Change is immediate. And these things don't take a long time, like the soil amendments that the science has come up with, with the microbiology sprays and all sorts of humates and fulvic acids and all this. It's very quick. We can turn things around, right, in a season. So, there's always this message out there, oh, we only have this many more years of farming until it's done. It's like, well, yeah, if we stay on the trajectory and we don't change, but the nature of humans is to change, and it is an inevitable part of what's going on here, and it's going to change for the better.
Yeah, and humic and fulvic are so important to the soil. And as far as I know, Lindsay, we're the only company that do not use any chemicals in processing our humic and fulvic. We have a patented process that is a filtration, not a chemical process. So, people are waking up that, you know what? If you want it, you'll come up with it. You'll find out how to do it, right? Where do you
You'll
live?
see. I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
I'll be in Calgary.
I heard
I'll be in
on,
Calgary in 2 weeks. I'll be giving a lecture downtown.
yeah, you were going to be at Luminescence, which is actually a 3-minute drive from my doorstep.
Really? So
Yes, so I'd love.
why don't you come to the lecture, not my lecture. It's a lecture they're putting on. It's not mine. I just show up. But why don't you come to the lecture? And I'm actually doing two, one on a Wednesday and one on a Saturday. I think it's in 3 weeks, actually. It's 3 weeks. And if you could, I'd love for you to bop in and talk about what you do in both of those if you had the time.
Yeah, get somebody to send me the information so I have all the times and everything. I think that'd be great to stop in. Like, what are the chances
Yeah.
you're right here?
Yeah. So it'll be, let me think here. Yeah, so it'll be 3 weeks. It's on a Wednesday night. The meet and greet is at 6 o'clock. And then the lecture starts at 7. And I'd love for you to come. And then on the Saturday, it's called A Day with the Doc. And then that starts at, I don't remember.
I think it was
I think it
12.
starts at noon and then it goes till 4. So that would be on Saturday, but I'll make sure I send you the information. I'll text it over to you, okay?
That's fantastic.
And,
Yeah.
and the place I'm lecturing, that we're lecturing, what's it called?
It's called Luminescence Healing, and it's
And
got the EES system. I was just there a few weeks ago
Oh,
because a friend of
really?
mine was doing a
Okay.
talk on minerals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I attended a talk there, and
It's
they
a small
were hoping to have me
world.
back. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's how it works, doesn't it? Work like that?
It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like picking up. I feel like I'm just always following the cookie trail, you know? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
with joyful delight. It's like, what's going to be next? I don't know. And it's a beautiful thing because I don't have a lot of expectation, right? And when you don't have so much expectation, you have way less disappointment.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice, eh?
Yeah,
Well, let's just get to it.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you like to leave everybody with? Huh? What would you like to leave them with?
Oh, I just want everybody to feel empowered that they can do this, that, on whatever scale, to start growing food and to have, even if it's going to be microgreens or herbs or something, just getting that piece of connection between you and your food, starting to get curious. If that knowledge isn't already there, where your food is coming from, really start to get curious about food. And just start to think about, like, how can I implement something? How can I have the freshest lettuce, we'll say? That's a very easy thing to grow. So then you have that, and the nourishment of these foods there's so much more density of the nourishment in these foods when you're growing them by you. So I just really want people to consider what they're putting in their bodies, where it's coming from, and also to consider, from the inside out, that God self that we're talking within. How can I connect back with that internal source of joy in myself? And how can I share that with the world? Now, I know this isn't very food forest abundance related, but 15 years of my life teaching yoga, it was always about how to human. I was always just curious about, how to be a human in this world. And I feel like it's gone from the yoga to mindset training to now permaculture and farming and now microbiology. It's all related though. It's all, how do I human? How can I human in this world? This is heaven on earth. How can I make the best time out of the time I have here?
Beautiful. Thank you. Listen, no expectation, but why don't you join me once a month and update me on what's happening with Food Forest Abundance?
Yeah, we'll have to set up a regular time that will work for us.
Yeah, that actually
Make
works.
a little note. I can come in with my newscaster announcements and tell you all the latest and greatest of what we're up to, because there
I would
really
love
is
it.
there's
I would
an
love it.
outstanding amount of things going on for sure. Yeah.
I would love it. And also, am I allowed to add your name to the flyer that you will be popping in and for the lectures in Calgary? It's up to you.
Yeah, I think so. Like I don't have anything on the Saturday for sure. I didn't look at the Wednesday, but yeah, mention that I'll be there.
Okay, then
Too easy for me
we're
not
going to
to be.
mention that that you're going to be there. I'll have my staff get in touch with you, okay, to make sure everything is right. Okay, is that all
Perfect.
right?
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say that this was a real honor. I want you to know that. I just want to thank you because it's people like you that make this world such a beautiful place, Lindsay. Okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
Bless
it's
you.
great to
And
connect.
everybody, don't forget, okay, if you want to book a set, to go for a tour, you go to galtslanding.farm, GALDS landing.farm. And then if you want to get in touch with maybe taking a look at, just stick your toe in. That's all. Just stick your toe in. If you got a front yard, you got a backyard, stick your toe in. Okay? Nobody's going to bite it off. And the reality is this, just check it out and say, what would it look like if I just had something naturally growing that I didn't have any time to really manage? Because I'm not saying it doesn't take any time, but it's not like a garden. I mean, when you walk out to a food forest, it just does it for you. At the beginning, yeah, sure, you got to plant it. You got to nourish it. You got to make sure the roots get in deep enough that it says, I'm okay on my own. Okay? All right? And the reality is this, okay? All right, like I said, what if you were walking down a street and you felt like you want to eat and you just reached over and you grabbed it? Wouldn't that be a crazy town? What if we could get a whole town of people that they made food forest abundance in their front yard? Okay, hey, look at it. Okay, no more lawnmower. Okay, all right. Lindsay, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many solutions in having food locally growing everywhere, right? And starting to influence policy makers and whatnot, changing the things that your city is accustomed to planting. Like get rid of those plain trees that aren't doing anything and replace them with edible trees, right? And community gardens and everything. And I see it unfolding. I really do.
You know where I live, okay? There's just out, there's a wall, and then out of my wall. So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm going to the bathroom, okay? And there's this beautiful bird, and he's pecking at the mango on the tree outside my bathroom window, right? That's in Ixtapamex. So it's just like, yeah, it's everywhere, you know? So if you can't live somewhere where food naturally grows, just naturally grow it in your own yard.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you're worried about the maintenance or whatnot, we can always support the pollinator species as well. There's a lot of other solutions, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to come right down to food for you. I've done an entire design for a woman here in Calgary that the whole yard was about the pollinators, right? So we planted for the pollinators and the birds. So it's
Oh,
butterflies.
nobody's ever brought that up before. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah. Well, and they just let your lawn go, rewild.
All
That's a
right,
big
well,
focus here in Alberta, right? With the native plants is to start doing more xeriscaping, right? Where we're not having to water things and it's perennial grasses and it's native plants, right? So we can get outside of the boundaries of the way we think about things and we can design to people's needs and to their wants and their abilities to be able to maintain. So book a strategy session call with us and we'll talk to you about
there it
it.
is. Okay, so if you want to do that, make sure you go to foodforestabundance.com. Okay, everyone? And thank you, love. And thanks for being so patient today with the flip, flop, and fly. Okay?
It's all good.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. Have a great day.
Have a beautiful day, sweetheart.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for coming on today. I will be coming on here in just a short while with Lorraine. Everybody knows Lorraine. And we're going to be talking here today. And we're going to be talking about what? The pelvis. I want to say something to you right now. You might want to join us for the show. You know what? You know that waistline that you have? It's called a waistline. Well, for most of you, it is a waistline. and it becomes not a good place, okay? And we're going to talk today, and I'm going to show and talk about the domino effect that they call it a waistline. And you know what? Did you ever notice something? There's always a clue in our words. There's the waistline, that's W-A-I-S-T, line, got it? Okay, and then there's the, what happens to it, it becomes a W-A-S-T-E-L-I-N-E. Because what people don't know is that they need to respect everything from the mouth to the rectum, which is a 32-foot traveling, 33-foot traveling for an adult. But most people only have 4 inches of consciousness. And I'm not trying to tell you, I'm trying to tell you that people are not stupid, but they're unconscious of what they put in their mouth. And the reality is that we have to really look at the vibration of everything we drink, everything we eat. Okay, because it matters, because everything physical leaves the body, and the only thing that stays behind is the vibration and the light. So let's get it right, because we deserve it. We need to learn how to love and care for ourselves. And for those of you who haven't downloaded my PDG guide, okay, all right, this is it right here. You can go to pdgfree.com. Okay, this guide is 40 years of my work. It's not about getting you to come to me. It's about getting you to set yourself free. And right in it, we talk about food forest abundance. So check it out. If you lose any of the information, it's in here. You can download it for free, or you can pay $95, which is only the cost. We'll ship it right to your door so that you can have it just kind of sitting there on the coffee table for the family that still wants craft dinner, and they just might open this up and they might just give it a little read, right? We got to keep on sowing the seed, okay? All right? And then we are the light, okay, to help to feed that, all right? I want to thank everybody for joining me. Don't forget, I'll be in Stewart, Florida, okay? And I'll be there in early June to do the Whole Life Coach certification, Dr. Sage Wolf, the Wolf Non-Surgical certification, and then the 3-day masterclass for women, pelvic restoration masterclass. And like I said, check me out. I'm going to be touring in Canada. I'll be going up in about 2.5 weeks. I'm going to be in Calgary. And Lindsay said she's going to bop in and see us and do a talk. And then from Calgary, I go to Manitoba, okay, as you can see right here. So Calgary, there it is. There's all the dates. Okay, I can't remember what I do. They say, show up, Daryl. Okay, so, and then I go to McDowell, Saskatchewan. First time I've ever lectured in Saskatchewan my whole life. Can you believe it? And then I go to Kelowna, British Columbia, and you'll see there that in Calgary I'm doing a lecture at night, and then I do a day with the doc on Saturday, and then McDowell, Saskatchewan, then Kelowna, British Columbia, and we'll be doing the same thing in all of these. But in Toronto, I'm just doing a day with the doc, and I promise to get those dates up. We are going to be leaving from BC. I have to go and do a personalized professional training on Vancouver Island, and then I'm going to do the Kelowna lectures, and I'm going to be doing the day with the doc is in Oliver, everyone, and it's going to be at one of my master practitioners clinics. Okay, so that's Oliver. Then from there. That's on Saturday. Then I leave on the Monday, and I'll be going to the island doing a professional personal treatment and training. And then from there, I'm going to fly to Toronto, and I'm only there one day, and it's going to be on a Saturday, and I'll have that date up maybe by the next show, which is only, I think, in about a half an hour. All right? So have the best day of your life, brave hearts. Wear a smile. It's your best protection. 3, 2, 1, we got this when we come together. Thank you.